This broadcast is for March 24, 2026, Japan time. Welcome to Samurai MLB Talk. Thank you very much for watching. This channel is a place where we explore the essence of humanity through the lens of baseball, through the way we watch the game, the spirit behind it, and the philosophy it reflects from a uniquely Japanese perspective. To our viewers in the English-speaking world, I truly hope you'll enjoy this dialogue about human nature as seen through the game of baseball. Your support means more than I can say. If you enjoy this content, please consider subscribing to the channel. Part 1, NPB's Evolution and the Brand of Shohei Ohtani. First, let's look at the news regarding Samurai Japan. An article from Aera Digital discusses why Hiromi Ito's bitter experience occurred, highlighting the challenges within the NPB exposed during the WBC and the reasons why reforms are not progressing. In the recently held WBC, the Samurai Japan national team unfortunately suffered a defeat in the quarterfinals. It was a deeply humiliating result, and I strongly feel it was a loss filled with points that require reflection. A primary cause for the defeat was the lack of familiarity with the pitch clock. After the WBC loss, Shohei Ohtani commented, "If we want to win on the international stage, the Japanese baseball world should also introduce the pitch clock." Tomoyuki Sugino made similar points, offering a sharp critique that the Japanese baseball world is often slow to take the first step. Japan, and not just in sports, tends to be timid when it comes to change. Consequently, we fall behind the rest of the world in almost every field. Even in the baseball industry, there is a trend of lagging behind global standards. In the recent WBC, it was pointed out that we are behind in areas such as the pitch clock and data analysis. Regarding these issues, I believe nothing will be resolved unless the NPB organization develops a strong determination to catch up with the times and reclaim global intelligence, while working swiftly on rule amendments. In the Japanese baseball world, there is an anachronistic rule that prohibits fans from uploading videos or images of games they filmed at the stadium to social media. As a result, what spreads on social media are almost exclusively scenes of MLB games and the success of its players. Taking even this one case as an example, I feel the NPB's way of thinking goes against the times. This is my personal view, but I predict that in the future, 2 MLB teams might be established in Japan. I believe there is a future where one MLB team is founded in Eastern Japan and another in Western Japan. If that happens, the raison d'etre of the NPB would diminish. To prevent this, shouldn't we be revitalizing the Japanese baseball world based on global standards starting now? Looking toward the future, feeling a sense of urgency, and taking action now for that future is surely a natural endeavor for any organization. If the NPB does not engage in modern organizational management such as adopting the pitch clock and data analysis, and permitting the uploading of player images and videos to social media, I feel a sense of crisis that there may be no future for the NPB. Moving on to more Samurai Japan information, there was a report that the jersey Shohei Ohtani wore during the Chinese Taipei game was auctioned on the MLB auction site for approximately $1.59 million. This is another instance of what is called Ohtani money, where massive amounts of wealth move around Shohei Ohtani. I am once again amazed by the high price fetched for his jersey. When the price of a jersey rises to the level of real estate, it truly demonstrates the brand power of the unicorn, Shohei Ohtani. Part 2, The Bright Future of Roki Sasaki. Currently, I feel that MLB's popularity is reigniting, centered around the unicorn, Shohei Ohtani. However, Shohei Ohtani did not achieve unicorn success immediately after moving from the NPB to MLB. When he first debuted in MLB, he struggled significantly as both a hitter and a pitcher. I still remember how the media at that time harshly bashed the two-way Shohei Ohtani. Does the media feel an urge to tear down new star candidates when they appear? In the case of Shohei Ohtani, there were many cruel remarks, such as the two-way path is a waste of time or describing him as being at a high school level. But look at him now. Shohei Ohtani has grown into a superstar to the point where he is the face of MLB as a unicorn, and there are likely few people in the world who do not know his name. I think media outlets need to learn to watch over a player who has just debuted rather than attacking them. Shohei Ohtani went through this process of media bashing during his growth, and currently, Roki Sasaki is walking that same path. Because his performance in spring training has not been ideal. Some media outlets are expressing concern about Roki Sasaki joining the Dodgers' opening starting rotation, even suggesting he should be sent down to the minors. However, the Dodgers' front office and coaching staff have decided to include Roki Sasaki in the rotation. I believe this is a very wise decision. The critical media does not understand that Roki Sasaki is not just a young pitcher, but a monster. Demoting him to the minors just because he was hit hard in spring training? That is as foolish as throwing away high-tech equipment without knowing its value while it is right in front of you. Anyone who has carefully watched and analyzed Roki Sasaki's performance in the Japanese baseball world would not have any doubts about him making the Dodgers' opening rotation. Claiming to have doubts about his inclusion in the opening rotation is essentially announcing one's own lack of understanding and study regarding Roki Sasaki. Roki Sasaki is the pitcher who will succeed Shohei Ohtani as a global superstar. Instead of picking at immediate failures, we must first learn to sense his potential. Let's start by learning about Roki Sasaki. Even though Roki Sasaki is being bashed by the media to this extent, the Dodgers' front office and leadership believe in his actual ability. That is exactly why his inclusion in the opening rotation became a reality. Roki Sasaki will not betray the expectations of the front office and leadership. He will surely distinguish himself this season. Roki Sasaki is still incomplete, but even in that state, he showed us that powerful pitching during last year's postseason. Once he perfectly masters his pitching technique and develops a style that dominates in MLB, he will become an untouchable pitcher that no one can hit. On March 24, Japan time, Roki Sasaki started against the Angels in his final spring training appearance. However, his control was erratic, and he was removed from the mound after 2 innings. While he allowed no hits, he gave up 5 runs with 8 walks and hit batters. With an ERA of 15.58 over 4 spring training appearances, he left some anxiety heading into the season. Watching him on the mound, I am concerned that his release point may have shifted because his body has become larger. I got the impression that he himself might not be conscious of this or has not noticed it. Predicting other causes for his lack of control, his body seems to open too early during the pitching motion, causing his right arm to lag and the ball to be thrown toward right-handed hitters. Furthermore, I feel the weight transfer from his right leg to his left leg is not normal. I also felt there were moments where his movement toward the batter's side was too fast. The sight of balls heading toward right-handed hitters is something unthinkable given his usual control, but that is what we saw in today's spring training game. Roki Sasaki's comment after the game. The regular season and spring training are different, so I want to make a clear switch there. However, the only way is to crush the challenges that arose in spring training one by one. I want to forget the spring training records themselves, as I believe the season will be a new start. I think spring training was where my bad points came out, so I feel I have no choice but to head into the season with a fresh mindset. While looking forward, he also said, "There are good parts as well. It's just that I haven't been able to demonstrate those good things while pitching. In terms of what I wanted to do, like how I use my lower body and my output, there were good things that I achieved. However, regarding what is required once the season starts, I haven't been able to do that yet, so I have to do something about it." What was striking about Roki Sasaki's appearance this time was that while he was struggling on the mound, manager Roberts and Ohtani were having a conversation in the Dodgers dugout. Perhaps manager Roberts was conveying his observations to Shohei Ohtani. Ohtani was mostly nodding, but I felt there might have been some kind of advice from Ohtani to Sasaki after he left the mound. Since this was his final spring training appearance, attention was focused on Roki Sasaki's pitching. Unfortunately, he showed a performance that left many challenges, and many media outlets immediately began bashing him. It's the usual pattern. If Roki Sasaki regains his true form and puts on a performance that blows everyone away, even the media, which has been critical of him lately, will likely change its tune. Spring training results are just spring training results. There are many pitchers who perform well in spring training but fail in the regular season. No matter how many times he repeats a performance with many challenges, I understand his greatness. He will surely regain his pitching form. I am certain of it. Let's watch over Roki Sasaki without being like a talentless investor who reacts to every fluctuation in a chart. He will not betray anyone. He will surely regain his status as a monster. He will definitely grow into the best pitcher in the world. Right now, he is simply walking through that process. Keep going, Roki. Part 3, Shohei Ohtani and the Return of the Unicorn. Today, March 24, Japan time, the Dodgers played a spring training game against the Angels. As mentioned earlier, Roki Sasaki was the starter, but it was a performance that left some challenges. On the other hand, the Unicorn Shohei Ohtani, after joining the team following the WBC, has demonstrated his ability as a pitcher and showed sharp hitting both yesterday and today. Ohtani was substituted after 2 at-bats today, but his extra base hit to left center in the second at-bat was magnificent. I expect him to hit 56 home runs as a hitter this year and earn 10 or more wins as a pitcher. If he is aiming for the Cy Young Award, his win total as a pitcher will likely increase even further. I expect that because Shohei Ohtani experienced a setback in the WBC similar to his time with the Angels. His competitive spirit will be ignited, and we will see an even greater Shohei Ohtani than ever before. Also, I am excited because he is entering the season as a two-way player for the first time since his Angels days. How will the Unicorn perform as both a hitter and a pitcher? How will he surprise us? I can only wait with high expectations. That is all for today. Thank you very much.